How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to the second episode of Junior. Special little thing I'm doing here for the diecast of the week for the month of June. And let's jump into the next two cars that I want to talk about. So to start things off, we got Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Amp Energy Mountain Dew Kickstarter Chevrolet SS from 2014. If it looks familiar, this is the car that Dale Jr. almost won the Las Vegas race with, but ran out of fuel on the last lap. So we give you guys a quick 360 tour of this car here. And let's talk about it. So to start things off, I want to talk about the black and the green here. It is played off fairly well on this car. I like how it's like, it starts black here, and then you got these different stripe variants, and they go up. Different shades of green, if you will. And I like that because it gives the car its own identity. Something that I keep striving for. So definitely a beautiful car in that regard. The next thing I definitely like about it is the 88 itself. Now there is a problem with the 88, but I want to hit on the positive first. I like the shine on it. Because again, if you move it up and down, hopefully you can see it. But at least from my point of view, it shines. It has more of like a metallic vibe to it, and I do appreciate that. Now before I move on, since we're talking about the 88, one quick problem I do want to hit on. In my opinion, the actual 88 itself is a little too big on this car. I think it just takes up a lot more space than it should. It's okay though. I mean, the car is still pretty, but again, I just think the 88, especially like, what do you call it, horizontally, it's a bit too wide. But again, it's not a big problem, but it is an issue. Okay, so then the next thing is that this is one of Lionel's better looking cars. This car was made by Lionel, and I'm very glad it did too, because I feel like they took a little more time with this car specifically, and it makes the car more pristine, if you will. So I definitely do appreciate that of Lionel. Alright, so then the next thing I also do want to talk about, and I do appreciate, is that there is a variance of the main logo. Because you see here on the front, you got Mountain Dew Kickstarter here. So you got Mountain Dew Kickstart here, so you got Mountain Dew and the Kickstart, which is in red, and it says Your Night underneath. It's not the exact same logo as it is here on the side. Hopefully you guys can see it, because it has Mountain Dew, then Kickstart 1, 2. And so I appreciate having a little bit of variance, just because, like with the Dow scheme I talk about, which is over here, it's good to have a little variance just because, again, you have more room here on the hood than you do here on the side. And so if you take advantage of each part perfectly, it makes the car as a whole that much better to look at. Now the other real problem I have with this car is the other decals. And really the one I want to really talk about is the Kelley Blue Book one. Because I feel like they just took that and they cut the rectangle out and just slap it on. In my opinion, I think that's just lazy. I really wish they could implement it better. Because I don't know, just the way how it's like you have this bigger logo here and then the words Kelley Blue Book here. I know it's really tiny, I know you guys can't read it. But the part I want to point out is the rectangle. Because I know that there's some other decals that work that have like the rectangle feel. I just don't believe that Kelley Blue Book works in that same manner. Like what I wish they could have done is like cut off the rectangle and then maybe have like an outer glow or something like that to make the logo stand out. But again, just doing the rectangle, it just gives a vibe of laziness, I think. Like National Guard, like here, because you see how they have the white on the inside, but like it's not 100% like a rectangle. Like they actually cut into it and it makes the logo stand out. So I wish they could have done that with Kelley Blue Book. Just a little nitpicky thing. And again, totally my opinion. But overall, it is a great looking car. A couple little minor flaws here and there. But all in all, I'm going to give Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Mountain Dew Kickstart Start Your Night Amp Energy Chevrolet from 2014 4 stars. So that is it for that one. And so for the second car, I'm going to keep with the 2014 vibe. And I'm going to talk about this car. This is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Michael Baker, what does that say? International Chevrolet. Now, there is a reason why I want to talk about this car, but to start things off, I do want to give you guys a quick little tour of this car. Alright, so let's talk about this car. First of all, the only real, I guess, positive, if you will, on this car is the design is okay. I like how the blue goes here, and like you still have like an outer stroke, if you will, on an 88. I do appreciate that, and I do appreciate having the blue lines on the back, and so it's kind of busy in that way, but that is the only, I guess, real positive on this car. The first big problem I have with this car is just the lack of color, and just, I don't know, it's just not that appealing to look at, in my opinion. Sure, you got the silver here that sort of shines. Oh, it doesn't even shine on this car, it's just painted gray. But the only real color you have on here is the blue, and it's by Michael Baker. And so the real issue with this car, and then the other thing I want to talk about too, is just the lack of originality. So the problem I have with this car is that it totally copies the National Guard car, which unfortunately I do not have. However, this car totally mocks off of that and tries to make it its own identity. And again, I've mentioned it numerous times, I believe every car should have its own unique identity. This car is trying to, but I definitely think it fails. What also I think happened is that this was one of those like late add-on sponsors, if you will. And it's like, oh, we'll sponsor you for a few races. And it's like, instead of trying to create a whole new car, they just slapped the logo on, changed a couple of colors, and called it good. And then I guess another little issue too is that this was made by Spin Master in 2014, not Lionel. So there's a couple things that feel off, like especially here on top here. You got Earnhardt Jr. just slapped between two of the Chevy logos there. And honestly, just my opinion, I do not like the look of this car. There's no originality to it, just a couple of colors that's changed on it. And Michael Baker, I don't know what the heck you are. I do thank you for sponsoring this car, but I definitely still wish like Amber Energy or National Guard could have just carried the sponsors on for more races. So, and again, this is just kind of like a big talk. And so again, the reason why I want to talk about this car is because I feel like because we have so many different sponsors coming in, like a car fails to have its own identity. Because it's not like Dale Jr.'s car. This is Michael Baker's car. And I personally don't like that. Not a big fan of it. But you know what? It is what it is. So, I don't know. It does make me mad. But what am I going to do? Go and file a complaint, rants, whatever? No, there's no use in exerting so much energy on that. So, whatever, it is what it is, but you know what, I'm going to give Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Michael Baker International car from 2014 1 star. I personally don't like it, but what do you guys think about this car? So I'll put the two 2014 cars next to each other right there. So, I know, I was a little bit negative on this, but yeah, that's it for those two cars. What do you guys think of these cars? And yeah, we're going to keep going with this train. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.